So many things and so many parts of ourselves have been stripped from us, whether it's from family members, romantic partners, jobs, things that we've heard about ourselves, but it's been taken. And so many of us are walking around shells of ourselves or walking around with certain beliefs about ourselves that are not even ours. We learned those things. So before that situation walks out of your life and before you completely just rid yourself of it, as all of us are on this journey to heal and become our best selves, before we do all that, let's make sure we take everything that we possibly can. I'm talking about wring those situations and those people dry of the value that we can get from those situations. So what do I mean by that? If somebody has done something to you or has made you feel less than, or a situation that you're in that just doesn't feel great and you're carrying it with you, I want you to become the hero of that story, and you're going to be the hero and you get to rewrite it. Now, how do you do that? You're going to start to notice what is your trigger in the first place. What did this person do, or what did the situation bring up in you that made you start to feel and internalize that you were not a great person, or that you're less worthy, or that you're less deserving? Because the beautiful thing about when we have all of these villains come in our lives, whether it's jobs, people, romantic partners, parents, when we have a villain in our life, the beautiful thing about the villain is, what did they do to us? What did they leave with us? Because at that moment, we can become powerful and take away the very thing that they try to leave us with. And that is the trigger. Only a villain, or only something that is truly here to teach you, could trigger you. So the next time somebody comes in your life, or the next time you remember something, or somebody says something, even certain scents trigger certain things, trigger certain memories. The next time that happens, I want you to pause, because I want you to realize my teacher has entered the room. Realize your teacher has entered the room. How empowering is that? We don't have to sit there and think to ourselves like, oh my God, this person is pissing me off. And we're not giving away any of our power. They already took. Now it's our time to take back. And in that moment, we're going to look at it as though this is something that we can learn. So for example, I'm going to give us a few signs that we are ready to learn from our triggers, and we are indeed ready to become our own hero, like we feel like we should have been in the beginning. But this is the next best option. So the first sign that you know that somebody is truly your teacher and not somebody that you should vilify is that when they come in the room, or when they say something to you, or when they look at you, you get pissed off. You start to get hot, you're sweating, all right? The edges is getting fluffy. You're starting to feel very triggered. Your body temperature is rising, or you're just starting to notice something is off. So be very in tune with what's happening with you in your body. Because the minute you can do that, the minute you can realize like, wait. Why is there a charge associated with this person and something that they're making me feel? It could be something that they are reminding you of that you've always felt inadequate about, something that you wish you'd have done that you didn't, something that you feel like you should have done better at, or maybe they made you feel less worthy, less deserving. But at the end of the day, that's not them who's making you feel that. So let's not give them that power. They don't have that much power. These people and these things and these situations are powerless. Those situations don't have any power over us unless we give it power. So the minute we unplug it and the minute we start to separate them from the trigger is the minute we become the hero and they become just a teacher. So when we start to look at it from that perspective, we don't have to suffer like we've been suffering, because that is not our ministry. We are not here to suffer. It's part of the human experience, but it's not the whole human experience. And so many of us are walking around with our heads low, thinking about all the things that people have done to us and how much they took. We're not doing that. So again, one of the main signs is that something wells up in you when they come in, and you're going to start to notice what's happening in your body. And what you're going to do from there is you're going to write it down. Yes, I mean, write it down, get your notes out in your phone, get a journal out, and just take notice of your bodily sensations, right? You don't got to unpack it all in one day, but maybe the next day you're going to go back to it, and we're going to get to sign 2 that you are indeed ready to detach this person from what you mean and who you are, because they are becoming powerless. The next thing you're going to do is ask yourself, what did this person or this thing or the situation remind me of that made me feel that way? Because since you're so self-actualized, since you are so wise, you know that no one can make you feel anything. No one can make you feel anything. No matter how much I want this orange juice to give me, or this orange to give me pineapple juice, it just never will. I can't change the content of it. Just like you can't change the content of who you are and what that person is and what they're not. They never ever had power. You have to understand that. It's always you who gave it to them. So I want you to understand, what the hell are they reminding you of? What are they making you walk through again or re-experience? Or what are they opening up back in your mind, body, and soul that is making you react adversely toward them? That is number 2. Now, number 3 is, as you work through this and as you start to take power away from the villains in our story and the people who have just not treated us well, the situations that have made us feel less than, then what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to notice, all right, this is very important. We're going to start to notice that I actually kind of like you. I kind of like this person, or I'm kind of happy that the situation happened. Now, again, there's a lot of work that happens before that, but appreciation has now the room to enter and take up space in your heart, in your mind, and in your body. Because you're starting to learning that if it weren't for this situation, I wouldn't be who I am today. And who I am today, I am proud of. So for me to wish that certain parts and certain aspects of my life didn't happen, that would be me trying to undo the very fabric of what makes me myself and what makes me unique. Because as you start to do this, you're going to notice that your self-love and the self-compassion that you have for yourself is starting to increase as well. That is another way that you know that you're doing your triggers right, that you're noticing your triggers in the right way, because you're starting to notice more positive emotions be associated with yourself rather than negative, or I should say more empowering emotions. Like the fact that you're able to rewrite your story, the fact that you can take lemons and turn it into lemonade, the fact that you were a rose that grew from concrete. Now you're walking around with your chest out a little bit more, right? You're sitting back a little bit taller, speaking a little bit louder because you have something to say. And what you say matters, and who you are matters, and we need that. That is another direct way that you're going to know that you are indeed turning your triggers or your pain points and those people who have hurt you into something that is now making you victorious. Because also think about it, point number 5, as I go into it. If we continue to perpetuate that narrative or that story that we're telling ourselves because of somebody else, seemingly somebody else, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for you? If you hold on to this, right? If you hold on to whatever traumatic thing happened to you, and I know it was hurtful, but if you hold on to it, do you know how much more of yourself you stand to forfeit just because you're not allowing yourself to fully process that? Let's say that's a terrible person. It was the worst thing in the world that happened to you. I get it, but it already happened. So how much longer are we going to allow ourselves to keep feeling that, reliving that, and associating ourselves with that? And not only associating ourselves with that, but adopting certain things into our personalities that affect the way that we see the world, affect the way we see other people, affect the way that we interact with ourselves and other people in our relationships. Look at how powerful you're making that. You've made it a behemoth. And this video is attempting to let you know we can break this whole thing down into nothingness as long as you extract the best parts of it, which is the things that teach you. And when you look at it from that perspective, you really, really zap all the power away from that situation that you thought really held power over you, and you realize that it does not. You hold all the power. And that is why your self-appreciation just goes up, because you're starting to realize, wow, I changed this. And you're going to start to see that you changed. You're starting to feel a little bit more empowered. Like I said, you're starting to walk taller and speak louder and feel more confident in yourself. And that doesn't come out of anywhere, right? I think the root of confidence, and correct me if I'm wrong down below, is trust, self-trust. Do you trust yourself enough to know that nothing has power over you? Do you trust yourself enough to know that you can change your story at any given moment? Do you trust yourself to do the work to do those things? So these are questions we must ask ourselves, because the main thing is that we have this beautiful life. Life is beautiful. And if we don't live it on our terms, then whose terms are we living it on? You didn't come into this world depressed and traumatized and angry and holding resentment and bitter. Do you see your average 2, 3, 4-year-old? Things happen to them and they forget. You can do something and yell at them, and they'll come back to you and 5 minutes later and hug you because they forgot about it. They let it go. They're not letting that be the thing that guides them and informs their next decisions, their next steps, and how they feel about themselves. So we have to take that lesson and understand that when we're in our most pure and our most natural and our most organic state, we get the hell on. We do not let things that happen to us that are especially negative define us. So I want you to move away from that. Please rewind this video and go back to those steps, because what we're not going to do in 2025 on this here channel, as we continue to grow and elevate, is keep ourselves tied and tethered to anything that took from us, to anything that sucked from us. Like, just think about when something is sucking from you. You become less and less. It's like you're shrinking. The best parts of you are gone. It already happened. Let's not keep reliving that by letting somebody continue to re-trigger us. Because the more and more we get re-triggered by situations, we ingrain it more and more deeply into our psyche, meaning it gets harder and harder to dislodge from our body, mind, and spirit. So let's start today. When that girl walks through that room who you can't stand, or when that person in your family member who violated you or who always talk down to you, when they come through, I want you to sit with it in your own time, process it in your own time, but also understand that I'm going to make you powerless. By the end of the week, by the end of the year, you will have zero power over me, and I might even say hello. And if you can't do that, no problem. But what they won't have, or those situations won't have, is power over you, and they will never make you relive a moment in your life that you already lived in real time and that already broke you. You do not deserve to continue to be broken over and over and over again. So please do the work, because your beauty and your uniqueness shining through depends on you doing that work. All right, so I'm headed to the gym to unbig this back. Summer is on its way. And let me know if this was helpful. Let me know what you think about this. I love talking to you guys in the comments. And also, thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. You guys are really watching my videos and letting me know that my content is something that resonates with you. And I'm just so, so grateful. As I always say, I got plans, honey, for this channel. All right, we going up. We about to hit 1K. So make sure you subscribe, share, and please comment and like. Do not forget to like if you really support what I'm doing and this mission. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow.